All right, let's get this show started.
In today's news, Michael Chandler plans on having a crazy run in 2025. Chandler hasn't fought since suffering a third-round submission defeat to Dustin Poirier at UFC 281 in November of 2022, so he wants to make up for the lost time. In a recent interview with Shaq MMA, Chandler said he wants to fight McGregor, Holloway, and lightweight champion Islam Makhachev over the course of the next 12 months, saying, "The title is the number one goal, but there is unfinished business. Chandler vs. McGregor from Tough 31. That chapter needs to close out at some point. Conor wants that fight. He's talked about it openly in public interviews. Obviously, I want that fight. You must also remember that Islam is probably fighting in late January. He's going into Ramadan in February and all of March. He won't be able to go into training camp until April. He won't be able to fight until June or July. I'm not trying to wait until June or July. Conor could sneak in there. We could see Chandler vs. Oliveira, Chandler vs. McGregor, Chandler vs. Makhachev, and Chandler vs. Holloway. The craziest 4-fight run in a 12-month period that anyone has ever seen." Max Holloway is tapping into inspiration from Alex Pereira's bounce back after the Israel Adesanya KO defeat. During a recent live stream on Kick, Holloway mentioned that he wants to follow in Pereira's footsteps after his own knockout loss, hoping to replicate similar success in a permanent move to the lightweight division.
155, bro. Cannot wait. Can't wait, boys. All I know is we saw Alex Pereira get finished, right? Next fight, he fought for a number one contender spot. Fought for the title, and he's on a title run right now, an unspectacular title run. Let's mimic it. Let's do it. I get inspiration in that. He's a beast. He is a beast.
Alex Pereira buys an iced out Richard Mille watch.
Alex, this is the piece that you wanted. And when we close the deal here, we say Mazal.
Shama.
No. Mazal.
Shama.
Okay. Shama. Shama. Shama, guys. Today is Shama, no Mazal.
Kamaru Usman weighs in on a potential Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. It's been a week since welterweight champion Belal Muhammad revealed news of a foot infection which forced him out of UFC 310. One possibility being discussed is having Shavkat clash with former champ Kamaru Usman for the interim belt. On Thursday's episode of his Pound for Pound podcast, Usman expressed a willingness to step in on short notice. Commenting on the situation for the first time, Kamaru said,
"Why not make the Nigerian Nightmare fight his teammate Rakhmonov Shavkat?" I think you can say the damn fight card. Hold on. I think you can say the damn fight card. I really do.
First of all, Henry, let me clarify something. We're not teammates. He comes in and trains in my gym. But if the UFC is going to call who they think is going to be legit, tough enough, man enough, crazy enough to step in there on short notice and go out there and possibly shock the world, definitely the UFC know who to call. And if they do give me a call, I'm going to answer the call. We'll get a couple things straight. You know, if we got to do it, we got to do it. I don't shy away from any of that. I've done it on 6 days notice. I've done it on 8 days notice.
Daniel Cormier shares his honest take on Jon Jones vs. Stipe Miocic. Speaking on the most recent episode of Good Guy, Bad Guy, Cormier, who has plenty of experience with Jones and Miocic after multiple fights with both of them during his legendary career, explained why he believes Jones has more to lose in his legacy than Miocic does at UFC 309.
Jon Jones is the guy that is universally considered the greatest of all time. But I will tell you this, there's always that what happens next. There was a time, Chael, that Anderson Silva was so good and so far and away considered the greatest fighter we've ever seen. You never thought for a second anyone could ever match that. But now, when he lost fights at the end of his career, people not only put Jon Jones in the conversation, entered Khabib, entered Demetrius Johnson. Now Anderson Silva, one of the greatest of all time, is barely in the top 5. Because if you start to lose, they forget about all the dominance you had prior. That's why if Jon Jones loses this one, then he has to chase. He's got to come back and try to beat Tom Aspinall to prove it was a fluke. Then if he loses this one, I'm not saying he will, but it's so risky. I think the risk is a little bit higher for Jones. Because I have to ask you right now, who do you think's going to win next week?
I would have to say Jon Jones.
Most people do, right? Most people do. So Stipe is essentially playing with house money. About $7 million in house money. Right? So Miocic is playing with house money. He can go out there and just let it fly.
The MMA community goes off after Jon Jones shuts down a potential Tom Aspinall fight. Jones returns to action next Saturday to face Stipe Miocic in the main event of UFC 309 at Madison Square Garden in New York. It could be the last fight for Bones, as he has teased potential retirement. If he continues to fight, a title unification bout against current interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall appears to be what the people want. However, Jones doesn't share the same desire. Speaking in a recent interview with Kevin Ioli, Bones said that he'd rather defend his belt against Alex Pereira than Tom Aspinall, as he believes Aspinall hasn't proven anything yet.
If you defeat him, will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not. Tom Aspinall is, I don't want to say nobody, but he just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. I'm not here to gamble someone else making a name off of me. I'm here to compete against the guys where when we look back, 10 years from now, it'd be like Jon Jones fought this guy and that guy and this legend and this champion and this champion. If there were to be a fight of a guy that's still on our UFC roster that would be not only financially worth it, but legacy worth it, it would be Alex Pereira. We're both 37 years old. Right now, I weigh about 235. I think Pereira walks around at 240. I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe gone tomorrow. I've just been here too long to get all excited about someone who's hot today. I'm here for legacy.
After watching the interview, fans in the comments slammed Jones for ducking. One fan wrote, "The guy who built his career off beating legends past their prime is refusing to fight the young up-and-comer? How shocking. Why is Jones dodging Aspinall? Dude literally is the interim champ." I know John was scared of Aspinall, but not this scared. Bro isn't hiding the fact that he's ducking Tom anymore. Bro thinks he's slick. Pereira has no ground game showcased yet. Aspinall has great stand-up and ground game. At this point, he'll do anything than fight Tom, laughing my ass off. Quack, 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 Jon Jones. Shock, he's ducking again. What an embarrassment. I'm convinced John is just saying this stuff to rile people up, and it works. If all goes well for him next weekend, he fights Aspinall next year. Surely, even Dana can't let this happen. Looks more and more scared each time. Of course he takes Alex, because he's 100% confident he takes him down. DRICUS du Plessis reveals his game plan against Khamzat Chimaev if they fight. Before Chimaev's return, it seemed sure that Sean Strickland would get the next title shot against current champion DRICUS du Plessis. However, because of Chimaev's dominant performance, plans have shaken up a bit. Now, in a recent interview with Submission Radio, du Plessis broke down his aggressive strategy for dealing with Khamzat.
What do you think a first round looks like between you and Khamzat if that is the next fight?
Like absolute chaos. If you look at my thoughts, it's going to be absolute chaos. I just think, I don't see him coming in with a different game plan, and me neither. I'm going out there to attack. I'm going there to kill him. I'm not going out there to defend Khamzat's takedowns. I'm not going out there to defend. I'm going there to attack. So I think it's going to look a little bit different. I mean, if you look at the Gilbert Burns fight and the success he had with Khamzat, that's a very, very good. Even with the Usman fight, Usman was, people don't just go and defend against him. He was forced. Usman was forced to defend, and he did a great job. And then he started with his offensive wrestling and showing Khamzat that he's not the only one who can wrestle in there. I think that was a big key in that fight, which made it a very close fight. And then Gilbert Burns being an absolute animal, also not being scared of Khamzat wrestling and, going for it, attacking. This game doesn't work by defense. You don't win fights by defending. You win fights by attacking.
Sean Strickland gives the UFC an ultimatum over the DRICUS du Plessis rematch. As 2024 nears its end, the UFC is likely to schedule a Strickland vs. du Plessis rematch for the first quarter of 2025. But Undefeated middleweight Khamzat Chimaev is also in the mix after an impressive win over Robert Whittaker last month. In a recent tweet, Strickland refused to fight at the UFC's upcoming pay-per-view in Australia, tweeting, "I'm not fighting in Australia, we're thinking Vegas in March. I have a love for the Aussies, but I don't think your government likes me," which I take as a compliment. Hate speech isn't real, and I always speak for my kangaroo homies. Freedom. A fan then replied, "UFC doing you dirty as fuck though, not gonna lie." Strickland responded, "Nah man, I'm next in line, don't trip." Who do you guys think should get the next title shot versus DDP? Strickland or Khamzat? Let us know in the comments below. It's time for today's top memes. Third place was posted by BIM Fighting. Second place was posted by Yusuf Q9. And the top pick was posted by Talking Lizard V2. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to stay in the talk.